It's an Infinity Game Changer.
Hi and welcome to our podcast from Infinity Business Coaching. Today we are doing a podcast which is part of the business planning section. One of our previous podcasts, you and I touched on a number of subjects, and we've agreed that we're going to do probably 10 podcasts linking together that will help you form a business plan moving forward. Now, a business plan isn't always January to December. You know, it can be any month that you start your business. But you do need a plan, because without a plan, you've got nothing to follow. So in this particular podcast, we are going to be looking at something called the Wheel of Life. And the Wheel of Life, we've done quite a few of them.
Yeah.
We'll drop a graphic in so you can see a blank one. And the Wheel of Life document is one of the first things we ask our clients to fill in when we are doing a business plan with them. And you may think, well, that's got nothing to do with how the business operates. And you're right, it hasn't. But it has everything to do with how the person who operates the business operates. Because if we don't understand the people that we're working with, or in fact, quite often, when the Wheel of Life is a revelation for the people that are filling it in, more often than not, if they don't understand exactly where they are on these particular subjects, then they don't realise that, you know, this may be going well, but this is absolutely failing. And until someone's, like we quite often sit with them and we highlight this, they go, I didn't even realise, but I've got to fix that then. Yeah, you do, because you can't have one engine firing at 100%, but 3 other engines just not running. It just doesn't work, does it?
No.
We see it a lot. So we'll go through, if that's all right with you, we'll go through the Wheel of Life document and why it's important as one of the things that you need to go over before you even think about writing a business plan. So if we look at the Wheel of Life document, one of the things that's on it, we'll go around this document. If I shout one and you shout one, Ben. So, okay. So we'll start off with physical growth. That's a section, that's one of the cheeses on a Wheel of Life document. The next one, Ben, usually?
Health.
Yep.
Important stuff.
That's a definite one. You'll see from the example that we've put on screen how this fits together. Another one of the sections on a Wheel of Life document is family and friends. You might think, why is that important to my business? But you'll find out, we'll explain why. Next one, Ben?
Relationships.
Brilliant, yeah, definitely. That's definitely an important one, okay? And another one that people forget, because I just think a business plan is all about numbers, but it isn't. If you want to do a business plan properly, another really important section on the Wheel of Life is fun and recreation. Because if we're not careful, I'm guilty of it, and business owners are, we end up so focused on our business that we actually forget we need a life outside of it. Okay? Next one.
Your physical environment, where you're at.
Yeah, where you're at, that's a good one, definitely. And then we have one that everyone should be able to answer, your actual business. And then finally, if you can remember the last one?
Finances.
Yes, yeah, that's it. So that's all of the, you've done well off memory there. Well done, well. You filled a few of these in. That's all of the cheeses that fit together to make the Wheel of Life document. Now, on the Wheel of Life document, you will see each of them has a lineup, and it says from 1 to 10. And what we ask our clients to do is score each individual section currently of how happy they are with that particular section of their life. So personal growth, for instance, if you're doing the same thing, or you've had no ongoing training at your particular thing, and it hasn't moved forward in 3 or 4 years, I've got no personal growth in the subject that I'm working in. Well, that's usually not a great thing, because you know most industries move forward, don't they? And if you're going to be the best, which I think it's fair to say most people want to be, then you've got to keep that personal development ongoing consistently. So if you had some great personal growth this year and some ongoing training, we call it CPD, continuum personal development, then score that highly. But if your personal growth is quite low, then score that low. Same with health. Yeah. I mean, we've had a client who suffered quite a lot of ill health lately, and she scored it down at a 3. Well, that's fair to do that, because she suffered some ill health. It's on the mend now, bless her. She's going to get better. But currently, her health's down at a 3. She's got a plan to get it up. but it's down at a 3. And same with family and friends, and you wonder why that's in for a business plan. Well, sometimes when you're in a business, and we see this a lot, your family and friends think you're mad.
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely crazy to do what you're doing. Why are you getting up at 4 o'clock to go to work? Why don't you just get a job? But so you have to put on there 1 to 10. 10, your family and friends are really supporting you, and 1, they think you're mad. What are your family and friends thinking about you running your business? And is it affecting you? Now, we've covered family and friends, but we've all got relationships. You've got a wife at home,
Yep.
partners at home. How is your business and the relationship with your partner, the people that you rely on, your person that backs you all the way, how are they about that business? We've done family and friends, same thing, relationship. And that covered off the fun and recreation. That was the next one on the list, wasn't it?
Yeah. You don't want burnout, you need that third space.
You need to. Like for me, I like going to the gym. And I realise that if I don't go to the gym, after about 3 or 4 weeks, I become quite stressed. But I know that if I do 10,000 steps a day, or I do a 6-mile walk 3 times a week, I don't get stressed. So my fun and recreation, as long as I'm doing those things, then I can score quite highly. But if I go 3 months without doing those things, I'd score quite low. So look at fun and recreation. Look at things that are putting happiness ticks in your life. Are they happening? Because if they're not, and everything's work, well, it does make Jack a dull boy if you're not careful. So have a look at how your fun and recreation is scoring on the wheel of life. Where is it now? And these are all where you are now.
Yep.
The day you're filling this in. Okay? Physical environment, well, you know, how are the things around you? You know, the house that you're living in, you know, the way you're travelling to and from work, the car that you're driving, the things that are making up your life, how happy are you with those things? The obvious one is business. How well do you think your business is doing?
Yeah.
And most people can score that,
Yes.
can't they? 'Cause
Yeah.
It's doing really well. But I would say that if you're here looking to grow your business and you tell me your business is currently a 10, I would ask, well, why are you here? Because people come to us and tell us, I want to do this, this and this. And they fill the wheel of life in and they say business is a 10. Well, it can't be.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it would deliver all that you wanted and you won't be sat in front of us. So we see this fudge, don't we?
Yeah.
If you fudge this, we can't help you. It's okay to be really honest with us on the wheel of life and tell me that isn't great. Because we see a lot, don't we? We see a lot of people telling us what they think we want to hear.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't care. Tell me it's going really bad.
Yeah.
I can help you fix it. But don't tell me what you think we want to hear. Otherwise, the advice will be based on things that are wrong.
Yeah.
You've got to be honest with us. And then finance is another one. Well, how well the business is doing and the finances that you're pulling from it, or its turnover or your salary, you score this on whatever you like. But if you say the business is doing a 10, but the finances are a 2, well, one of those isn't right, because if your business is going great, how come it isn't kicking you the money? It's a fair question, isn't it? And we would ask you that. So if you tell me your business is doing a 10, but your finances are 1, expect a tough question from us. Now, I am not here, and Ben's not here, to massage your ego. We're not. We are here to be your curious best friend, critical best friend. Because if we don't make you think about each of these sections properly, then you're not going to move forward. And the first one we discussed was your personal growth. If we don't drive each of these sections right, you're not going to get any personal growth. And then we're all wasting our time. Because we see that, don't we?
Yep.
So
There's a lot of time where it's like, what would you rank this? Oh, that's an 8. What would you rank that really? That's usually and people have to be vulnerable with us, and we're sensitive to that. But yes, that people do. You phrased it perfectly. People tell us what they think we want to hear.
But I'm not bothered. Tell me the truth.
Yeah.
Tell me the truth. When I started in business, most of these were a 2. I was struggling. It was affecting my personal life. I thought about nothing else but work. I couldn't give my partner the lifestyle that she wanted because I didn't have the cash. It was strained in my relationship. My friends and my family all thought I was crazy. What are you doing leaving a great paid job to set up in business? My physical environment, it was rubbish because I'd worked out my back bedroom and I needed more space and the house was busy. Business wasn't doing well and my finances was a shot. But when I look back at my first ever Wheel of Life, everything was an 8 or 9. No, it wasn't. It absolutely wasn't. But when I filled it in properly, about 8 weeks into being in business, there were 1s and 2s. There were some 4s. But what it gave me was a snapshot of where I am now and what I need to work on.
And again, now you just said, now I look back, and it's all
Well, it's documented.
Yeah.
Documented. Now what needs to happen? So we've gone through and we've filled in the Wheel of Life where you are now. And you've got to be honest. Because now I'm going to ask you to get another different coloured pen. And I want you to fill the Wheel of Life in where you want to be with each of these sections, again, 1 to 10, and 10 being it's great and 1 being it's pretty shocking. Where do you want to be 12 months from now? That's our usual exercise, isn't it? Because you will see a very different wheel appear. And if you just tell me, I want them all a 10, I also tell you to go away and do it again because it's unrealistic. If your finances are a 3, but you want them to be a 10, and I've got 12 months to do it, you're not being fair to you or us. I'm not a miracle worker, but we do try. But if you tell me I'm all to be a 10, I think it's fair to say we'd say do the document again, wouldn't we? Be realistic about what steps you can take. Now, you can fix relationships quite quickly. That could move up there. And you could fix fun and recreation quite quickly because we could use your focus slots to build some fun time into your life. I was working with a guy last week who was doing 60 hours a week. And immediately I said, well, what happens on a Tuesday? What happens on a Tuesday? Because he'd mentioned that his kids go to an after-school club on a Tuesday because childcare was an issue. Well, what happens on a Tuesday if you didn't go to work? Well, he said, well, nothing really. What happens on a Tuesday if you just said, I'm full from 3 o'clock on a Tuesday, from 3 till 5, my diary's full, I've got meetings. Well, I'd put them elsewhere in the week. So I said, well, that's straight away then, you finish work on Tuesday at 3, and you get your kids from school, and your diary's full. Because if you had meetings in there, you'd still see the client later in the week.
Yeah.
You'd move it. Oh, I can't see you Tuesday, I'm already full, I can see you Wednesday, or let's do it a Thursday afternoon. He said, yeah, I would never miss a meeting. Well, for you to get some family and friends in your relationships time, let's blank out Tuesday, get your kids out of the after-school club and spend some time with the dad. This is where the Wheel of Life comes in. But if you don't do this, your life isn't going to feel enriched and your business is going to feel a drain. And so Wednesday morning, why don't you start work at 10? Why don't you take your kids to school once a week? Middle of the week, take your kids to school. Start at 10 o'clock. Now, this is in play now, and this guy is a different person in a number. It's happened fast, but because he's got an understanding of he is in charge of his business. That's a fact. He's in charge of it. And I can get this business to deliver what I want. But without focusing on the Wheel of Life document, we'd have never got that for them.
No.
But that in itself is a win, because straight away, in 12 months' time, he believes that relationships and friends and family, well, they can score 10. That's a step in the right direction. So that's the Wheel of Life document. It's back on the screen. This is what you're looking at now is a blank one. And this one's showing you with a current situation. And then this one, this final overlay, is where this person wants to be in 12 months' time. So that's how they look. Put some thought into it. We all know what focus slots are because we've covered focus slots lots on our podcast. Take a focus slot, a 90-minute chunk out of your diary in the next 7 days, and think about a Wheel of Life currently and where you want it to be in 12 months. When you do that, we can move on to the next step, which is creating yourself a terms document. Remember, all of these are part of the business planning project that we're doing, but these are all things to do before you even think about writing a business plan.
Yeah.
So I'll leave it with you to see us out, Ben.
So if you want a copy of the Wheel of Life, that email details is below. Just reply to this asking for the Wheel of Life. We'll happily give it to you. If you want to draw your own, obviously you can see it on the screen. So I really hope that's helped you. Thanks for joining us on this Infinity Game Changer podcast. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Spin the wheel of life tonight, round and round till the time feels right.
It's an Infinity Game Changer.